So Conor McGregor is, of course, on every single newspaper, every single headline, every single podcast that's around, and rightfully so. Phenomenal performance. We talked about it with Robin. Great insight to the kind of fundamentals that goes into Conor McGregor's everyday activity to make sure that he is one of the best and is so being touted already, the best fighter in the UFC. But will he be staying with the UFC? That is the question, because there's been plenty of rumors going around about Conor McGregor moving over to the WWE and taking his career from the UFC to somewhat a very more glamorous lifestyle over in the WWE, where he can just indulge in the everyday activity that goes along with that. Maybe he goes the same route as a Brock Lesnar and does both. Who knows? But we're going to throw to this a couple of quotes to discuss this. But of course, we've brought in our WWE correspondent. No, it's not Josh. It's Jason Rubin here to discuss the matter in his coffin with windows. So he's at the house of the Undertaker. He's ready to discuss this matter. Oh, look, that looks pretty nice. I can sense Jacory's going to get so mad because you will not put the camera back where it was, and his headroom will be cut off. No, Jacory's fine. He's fine. He's happy with it. So, Jason, what do you take from this? Conor McGregor, WWE. I don't buy it, but a lot of people are talking about it.
All right, here's what we know, right? We know about three things. We know Conor McGregor said in the press conference afterwards that he wants equity in the UFC or some form of a business opportunity. We know Conor McGregor is having a child, right? Or he says he's expecting in either March or May, when he had that back and forth with his missus during the press conference itself. And number three, we know that there's probably no one better UFC fighter with the mic. Just the way that he walked out into the garden itself and threw his hands in the air or out in the center of it, he's somebody that already, a show that gets good ratings is WWE Raw. It does. Every Monday night it gets great ratings. Even bigger is WrestleMania. So when I look at this, I keep thinking, like, it's just going to be a quick payday for McGregor. They're going to say, here, come on, do a one-show appearance for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I think he would say yes. Now, the UFC could technically say, no, you can't do that, because I think he's under contract, which would prevent him from doing that. But we know McGregor is one to pull a couple strings. And at the moment, he's made me a believer. I'm pretty sure he can do whatever he damn well feels like.
Yeah, so this is what separates us, I believe, from other sources that will run this headline and spend the majority of the clip discussing whether or not he would fit into the WWE. We know he would, but what we need to understand is the level of quality we're dealing with here. This is a man who's doing things that no one else has done in the sport, and this is a man that's taken the UFC to new heights every single time. Why on God's earth would he slow that process to maybe make a transition temporarily to the WWE? Making a one-off appearance on TV, yeah, that can happen, it's no problem. But if it starts to distract him from what his ultimate goal is, which is to make history as the best and most talented UFC fighter of all time, people are putting him in the same category as Muhammad Ali of the UFC at the moment. And people are ridiculing that, saying it's ridiculous. I don't think it's that ridiculous of a statement. Yes, more so you need to wait till the end of his career, but I'm not going to be taken back and shocked because you mentioned a fantastic and brilliant sports person, probably the best of all time, in the way he commanded the mic, in the way that he held himself in and out of the ring, to a man who is emulating that, but still working towards it. He's only 28. So I'm not going to sit here and humour the easy draw that Conor McGregor in the WWE. If you're a WWE fan, don't put any sort of thought into this happening. Expect to see him maybe rarely on a TV appearance. Maybe he comes into the ring, joins a John Cena and has a little back and forth. Yeah, that's fine. But there is no way on God's earth this man, with this amount of drive, with this amount of ambition, with this high of an expectation in what he can do in this sport, will try and jeopardize that. He's going for everything he can grasp onto. If he holds 3, 4, 5 belts at the end of his lifetime, the UFC, it's in his mind. He sets these goals and he looks to achieve them. And I don't think that he's going to try and jeopardize that by focusing on something else. But I just don't buy it as a full-time sort of transition.
5 belts?
Who knows? Who knows? I think he's got some sort of love for the WWE.
So I want to get to Triple H's quote, because he said Triple H was at UFC 205 and he said, quote, he can come over. He's got it all, man. He told this to the Telegraph in the UK. He's got the personality, the skills, the talk. He's an entertainer for sure.
Yeah.
Triple H is not just a former WWE star. He's a WWE-like guy. He's like president of some form of department there. He's pretty high up on the business side of things for the WWE. So his word carries some weight for Triple H. Of course, Triple H he's watching what he just saw at Madison Square Garden. He just saw it live. He realizes that a WWE event with McGregor involved would, of course, bring over that audience that you've always talked about for a year and a half so far.
Yeah.
And it would make the ratings go through the roof because, once again, I don't know how you can defend it anymore. There's no bigger star in the UFC. There probably won't be ever.
And I agree as well. It's still harsh on the ears of the go-to fans that have been there since day one. But things are changing. What Robin said yesterday was so on the head. It was absolutely on point, is that it's like a new technology. Your dad doesn't want to embrace the new iPhone. He will have to at one point, and he'll send some really weird and somewhat disturbing messages through autocorrect. And he's like, this damn phone! But at the same time, in order to keep up with these new trends, you have to adapt and you have to accept them. Conor McGregor is a new technology in the sport of MMA. And I think that's such an articulate way that Robin put it, is that the people who have been criticizing him, some of them that want to hate him don't necessarily discard his talent. They are aware of it. But the ones that are just there to hate from the beginning because they believe it's their own sport just don't want to adapt to this change and want to hold on to the old guard of whoever kind of started it, this whole UFC industry from the very beginning, whereas Conor McGregor is going to be the future of this sport, and he is the future of this sport.
Francis, fantastic points. I urge everybody to actually go back and watch those recaps, the two clips. There's one up Tuesday, there's one up Monday that recapped UFC 205. Of course, Francis, you were great, but so obviously was Robin Black, who truly is a terrific, terrific analyst. I can't express that enough. So I want people to keep watching those clips because he puts it in a different perspective as well. Lastly, Floyd Mayweather is not too happy with Conor McGregor. Floyd Mayweather took to TMZ, or TMZ took to Floyd Mayweather is the really way I should put that, and blasted Conor McGregor for being disrespectful to Floyd Mayweather and saying that he is an elephant, whereas McGregor is just an ant. Here's the video to take you out.
Were you able to see the Conor McGregor fight?
I didn't really know that he fought.
You didn't know? You didn't see it, or?
No, absolutely not.
I thought you would be interested. I mean, he's like the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA, the UFC.
I didn't know Conor McGregor was undefeated, but I didn't know that he had a reign in MMA for 20 years and undefeated, and was world champion in 5 different weight classes. That's something I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I guess you guys telling me something new. If you say he's the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA.
Well, do you?
I mean, if you say he's the Floyd Mayweather of the MMA, I'm trying to find out. Have you ever made $300 million in one night? Have you ever made $100 million in one night? Have you ever made $70 million in one night? So, as far as trying to say that he's the Floyd Mayweather of MMA, I mean, it's okay to just to say it, but it's not true. I'm a legend, a living legend. You know, I gave to the sport of boxing. I gave years and years of hard work. It was blood, sweat, and tears. I had a tremendous team. I had a tremendous run. I think that it's time for if Conor McGregor need to go out there and do what he do. But never compare Conor McGregor to me. That's a total disrespect.
Well,
I mean, once again, I'm an elephant. Elephant don't beef with ants. You know, elephant is so large you don't even see ants.